Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are keeping well. My name is Dimpy and I share watercolor tutorials every Saturday on my channel. In today's tutorial, I will show you how to paint this beautiful floral basket, and as it is Mother's Day tomorrow, I am painting this card for my mum. I hope you all also get inspired to paint a card for your mums. So let's get started. Okay, so I have folded my watercolor sheet into A5 size as I'm making a card, and I'm taping it down with the help of a frog tape. Check out the description below for all the materials I have used. So we'll start sketching the basket before we start painting, and I'm drawing a very light outline of the basket. So I'm drawing a handle as well so that I just know where not to paint the flowers. Otherwise there's no strict pattern as to, the flower needs to be accurately in the location where I'm showing in the card. You can actually just compose the way you like. Okay, now we'll start preparing our colors for the painting. Prepared a muted orange color by mixing Chinese white and autumn orange, as you can see, and it gives a very nice muted tone. And I'm using a size 6 Escoda round brush, and I'm just doing an under layer of the flower to get started. And you can notice I've left some white caps in between as well. If you'd like to see a detailed tutorial on how to paint loose roses, check out the description below. Okay, so we painted one rose, and similarly we're going to paint another one to the right side. You can see that I'm just using simple brush strokes, and I'm also adding in a little bit of burnt sienna to add the darker areas to the rose. Flower, I have mixed a little bit of the orange color and the Quinadricone permanent rose, and got a really nice light pink color. It's got an orangish tone to it as well. And we're just doing the underlayer of the flower, and we're going to come back to it later once it's slightly dry. While the underlayer is still wet, I'm dropping in some darker color as well. I'm painting a dahlia flower now, and this is again really loose. Time I've taken Quinadricone permanent magenta as well. Gives a bit of a darker shade to the flower. I decided to add in another rose, this time pink, to give a bit of a contrast against the orange rose. few purple flowers. Mixed in Dioxazine violet and the orange color, and that gives me a muted purple color. And I'm going to add in another flower just with the same color. Just make sure you don't paint over the handle of the basket that you just define in the sketch. I'm just washing off my brush and tapping it on my tissue to make sure there's no color left on the brush. And now I'm just drawing some contrasting bright pink flowers using Quinadricone permanent rose color. As there's some space still remaining under the pink flowers, I thought I'll add in a white rose. Now white rose are slightly tricky because you're basically not painting the rose, you're just painting the shadows of the rose to define the petals. So the best color to use for this one is Payne's gray. So you just give rough outlines and just rough definition to the petals, and that should be it really. I'm adding a few more tiny purple flowers just to balance this, and I'm also adding a bit of dark to the flowers I painted earlier. I switched over to a different brush which is more pointed. This is also size 6, but it's a Daler and Rowney pointed brush, which I find really useful if I have to paint very thin lines or just simple dots. So we're going to paint some foliage around these flowers that we've just painted. Have seen in floral bouquets we have these really tiny delicate leaves, and that's what we're going to try and paint here. So you can add in as many leaves as you like, and I mean basically the composition needs to look right, and that's what you need to be mindful of. For my green color, I have just used bamboo green color and mixed it with a bit of burnt sienna, and that just mutes it again, otherwise it's too bright. Because my painting here was quite muted, I don't want it to be overly bright. I just like the subtle colors, but if you want to make it more bright, you're welcome to do so. Few different types of leaves now. For the basket, I do an initial underlayer of yellow ochre color, as you can see, and I'm adding in some bright cadmium yellow as well. If you think your color is too bright, you can always use your kitchen towel to lift the color back. And now I'm adding a little bit of burnt sienna to the right side just to create a bit of a shade. Coming back to the roses now, I think the first layer is now dry, so I'm adding in some darker hints to the petals just to define them a bit more. And you can see I'm just using the tip of my brush to add those darker lines, and I just smudge them afterwards with a wet brush because I don't want them to be too defined. I still want like a loose watercolor touch. And coming back to this flower that I painted earlier, I'm just adding in some darker tones now. And I'm also adding center to the flower using lemon yellow. All we're going to do is add some finishing touches to our flower so it stands out a bit more. And that involves adding in some darker tones, as I said earlier. I'm just adding some darker center though to these pink flowers so that they stand out a bit more. Using some burnt sienna for the background now, just for where the basket is. I'm not very happy with the way my baskets turned out, so I've just kind of went over with a wet brush, and we're going to redo the basket lines again. Okay, so I'm retouching this rose for the third time. Sometimes that's the case when you're really not pleased with what you're getting, because watercolor is slightly unpredictable, and also sometimes we just tend to overdo stuff. So just be careful about that and just kind of stop where you think you've achieved what you really wanted to. These tiny flowers that I painted earlier, I'm just adding in some darker tones now just to give it a 3-dimension. I'm using white gouache to add to the center of the purple flower, and I'm also adding a little bit of white where I think I've lost it on the roses. So that's like a savior. You want to really fix your painting, you think you've done too much color and you want to get back your white. Now I'm using Van Dyke brown. This is the darker brown color available on Mijello Mission Gold Colors. I'm just doing some random rough strokes. I'm not being very particular because again this is very loose. I'm just doing like a crisscross pattern. Some final finishing touches and I think we're nearly there. So we are done, our painting is complete now. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, please like and leave a comment. It helps my videos to reach out to others and helps my channel grow. I hope to see you next Saturday with a new tutorial. Till then, take care. Bye.